All right, we can't see the video, huh? But the boys are back in town. I'm Dupe, and the guy that joins me is the big guy, Edwin Bailey, number 65, the NFL veteran of 11 years with the Seahawks, and all the way from South Carolina State by way of Savannah, Georgia. Anyway, welcome to Monday Night Sports. We are back, and tell you what, it is good to be here with you. Edwin and I will be with you every Monday night from 6:30 until 7, and really giving you a recap of, the Seahawks game, the previous day, or that week's game. You know what's going on. So anyway, glad that you can be here. And okay, we don't have Edwin yet, but we will get him. So I was trying to start out the show with if you are Eddie Murphy fan and have seen 48 Hours, that's the scene where he's at Vroman's, where the brothers hang out. Yeah, Jack, I know you don't know about this, where the brothers hang out. Okay, and the bus boys playing. The boys are back in town, and so I thought that was appropriate that after about a month and a half, 2-month hiatus, we are back in town, and hopefully we'll get Edwin. So I'm going to share a little bit, and then once he comes on, if we get him, he will give you the lowdown. But Edwin is back in South Carolina, and he is going to be coaching at the junior college level, and they're starting a big program. I believe it's North Carolina and South Carolina, maybe teams from about a 10-team league. And so really this year, setting up, getting it all in place, and then they'll begin play next year. So he's going to be going back and forth, but we'll have him, which is nice. You can have via the virtual wonders of Zoom or StreamYard or whatever you're using. So anyway, that is to come. So congratulations to the big guy for that. But anyway, what we want to do, like I said, is each Monday we will kind of recap the game and then give you our analysis. And so if we get him, again, we're working through. He's down, like I said, down in South Carolina, just got down there, so we'll work out the details. With that said, big win for the Seahawks. And the reason I say big win, 28-16. But they I don't know about you, but I thought they looked good. So we're gonna show you some video highlights while we're kind of talking about the game, and then we also will give you a few audio cuts from Coach Carroll and from Jamal Adams. And I continue, and no secret, to be impressed with Jamal Adams. I mean, the guy just gets it done. And as you look at the Seahawks, I think one really important factor is you look at the injury report. Not a lot. You've got, I'm looking at it now. So you got Dwayne Estridge, concussion, and he's questionable. All three of these guys here are questionable for week 2 against Tennessee. You've got Penny Hart, the wide receiver, concussion, and kind of in the protocols for both of those guys. And you want to be safe. And you know what? I get it. That's so critical. You got to be safe. And then Ethan Posick, the offensive guard, the knee doesn't look like it's anything serious. They say he's questionable for week 2. And then Rashad Penny, unfortunately, with the calf, is doubtful. So really, that's all from yesterday's game that you're dealing with, which that's good. That is a good sign, because as I've said on this show, week in and week out, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when in terms of the injuries. And the key is, can you play through those injuries? Are they injuries that are not season-ending injuries to key guys? Are they injuries that, if a guy is out a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it is, what's the backfield? Who is backing him up? And hopefully there's not a big drop-off. So, that's the big key. Why don't we start out? I want to hear from, and Daniel, if we've got the cuts, I want to hear from the cut from Coach Carroll, and that kind of summarizes the game. So we'll listen to that. Then I want to come back. We'll get some highlights, and I'll kind of give you some of the keys that I saw throughout the evening for the game, or throughout the afternoon. So let me know if we have that. We
They
did.
had really good players and good coaching, and we had great respect for them. So to come away with a win against a team that's this well equipped is a really good deal, because we had to play well in all three phases, and I'm really feeling like that's what it looks like, today. From special teams all across the board, everybody did their job today, and it's a great start for us. And I don't know about this travel stuff, but it ain't so bad playing in the East. I don't know, it's so bad. So I don't know why everybody makes such a big deal about it, Greg. I don't know. So many things that were good today, because it's this first time we get out and really get playing. And I know everybody's worried about how we handled preseason and all of that. Now look at it. Guys played like crazy. They were running and hitting and tackling and doing all their stuff, and we'll get better. And so I was really fired up about this accomplishment to get the thing started. I like the challenge of going on the road against such a good team in a really noisy setting and all of that, and we handle all of it. Russell played fantastic football today. He got terrific help from his guys catching the football, and the pass protection was really solid as well. We were able to run the ball for 140 something. Chris looked great to give us the balance that we need. But really, the day to me really goes to Shane. I think his first time out and a chance to show it, and I'm really, really proud of what he was able to do, because he went for it the whole time, and we did exactly how we've been practicing and how we've been preparing, and he handled it with such a cool overall mentality and all, and he and Russ were just cooking. And so, I'm sorry I said that. Can you scratch that? Oh, gone it. They did really well together. Shoot, that's out there. Dang it. I don't ever think I ever said that one time all that last year, whenever that was happening. Anyway, so it's a big day there for really for the coaches on the offensive side to put this thing together. And I know everybody was questioning it, and we're just getting started. So it's really exciting for us. Go ahead. What do you got?
The two touchdown passes from Russell to Lockett. What did you see there?
Amazing. Just incredible stuff. The one against the blitz, the throw, you'd be surprised how we practiced that throw and that catch. If you looked at Noe in pregame, he was working on that exact catch, the ball coming just like that. It's an amazing chemistry that they have. For us to be able to step up on the deep ball and throw it, I don't know how far I threw the ball, but it was as far as he could throw it, and it was as perfect as you could land. And of course he's there, and then they can't even knock him down at the end of it, just for Tyler to finish it. Just a fantastic football player. That's really fun to see.
Watching Willie Mays did Tyler Lockett look a bit like that on the first one?
It was. We talked about it on the sidelines. Yeah, it was just like it was back in the day. I got the picture on my wall.
Well, there you have it, the coach. And, he hit the nail on the head. I mean, as he said, Shane Waldron, the new offensive coordinator. And, yeah, they are just getting started. I mean, some of the things that I saw that were different. Number one, Coach Carroll talked about the pass protection. And they made a couple moves in the offseason to shore up that offensive line. Guys are healthy. Knock on wood, you hope, again, guys stay healthy. But one of the things I think that is really, really important. So the offensive line obviously had to improve from last year. So far, it looks like they did. Indianapolis, and I'm going to go over this in a minute, the Colts were no slouch. And keep in mind, I mean, the Colts last year finished 11-5. And arguably not a great division, but not a bad division. As you look at they're in the AFC South, and Tennessee, they tied with Tennessee, but Tennessee, based on tiebreakers and what have you, was the number one team coming out of the AFC South with a record of 11-5. The Colts had a record of 11-5, and then the Texans were 4-12, the Jaguars 1-15. Both of those teams will improve, this year, obviously. But the Colts are not, they're no slouch. And so to have that type of performance, but I think offensively, what was really, good to see, and Pete Carroll talked about that kind of the balance. I love Chris Carson. If Chris Carson stays healthy and he is there for all 16 games or 13, 14, or 17 games, forgive me, if he's there for a majority of those, the dude just gets it done. He runs hard, and he makes the tough yards. And I tell you what, he's a guy you can rely on, and I really like him. But one of the things I think was important last year, all of the talk about the offensive line, and then the offseason, Russell Wilson making the comments, what have you. Russell Wilson has got to get better about staying in the pocket, being more patient. And, a couple of those passes, and the touchdown pass to Tyler Lockett, man, where he's just stayed in the pocket. And I mean, he did not deviate and then threw that, that pass up there. That's what it's going to take. He's going to have to trust his line, trust the situation, trust the play, not try to force things. He is that good. And if he plays within himself, remember last season, he started out, hot again, like he did yesterday. I'll go over his stats in a minute, which were just unbelievable. And, the first, 4, 5, 6 weeks, I mean, he was right up there in the MVP, discussion, and then kind of flattened out a little bit. But it's going to be really important for him to understand. And I think, he's a smart dude, and he will continue to get better and better with experience and learn how to navigate within the pocket and, trust his teammates, trust everything that he needs to trust. But when he needs to tuck it and go. And we saw that yesterday as well. It's 6:42 here on Monday Night Sports. I'm Rick DuPree, and Edwin. So we'll get the technical difficulties worked out. As I mentioned earlier, Edwin is in South Carolina. He's going to be there the better part, kind of going back and forth and having some technical difficulties. We'll get that stuff worked out, because obviously this show is all about getting his perspective as an 11-year NFL vet and giving you that perspective that, you're not going to get anywhere else. But with that said, if we aren't able to get those resolved today, we will certainly get them resolved in the future and have him. So anyway, some of my keys, I mean, I think Russell made some good decisions, and that's going to be important. And going to the stats for just a minute, I'm not a big stats guy, but he 18 for 23, threw 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and threw almost as many touchdowns as incompletes. That's pretty doggone good. And Chris Carson, again, 16 carries, 91 yards, 5.7 per carry, and on 16 carries, I mean that's some consistency, and that's what you really need. And overall, okay, you look at the stats and total yards, 381. Total yards, 140 on the ground. But here's for me a key stat: 7.2 yards per play, and that's huge. That's huge. 18 first downs, just under 50% on third down efficiency, and that's a huge key. Did allow 3 sacks. It is what it is. Lost 1 fumble, no interceptions. Interesting. You look at the time difference, and the Colts had the ball 11 plus more minutes than the Seahawks, but really didn't matter. The defense did their job, did a great job, and so that was really encouraging. So, and Daniel, if we want to, I'll continue to kind of give my keys. If we have a highlight package, if you want to kind of play that a little bit, that's great. Yeah, there you go. So you can see some of the highlights. I'm sure, if you're here listening tonight, I'm sure you watched the game yesterday, but there it is. You can see some of the key plays. And, again, one of the things with the defense I think is really important is that they pretty consistently seem to have 5 guys coming up. And when I say 5 guys, rushing. And so kind of that defensive front puts a little more pressure on the outside, and your guys got it covered. But, they did a good job. And that's something I think that the Seahawks, really from last year have to improve. And if you remember the first, third of the season, first half of the season, probably first half, defense was atrocious. But then the latter half, and especially the last, quarter, third of the season, the defense really improved. And it looks like you're seeing that they're just a continuation of, how they finished the season. So that's really important. Again, offensively, and Pete Carroll mentioned that in the interview that we played. And man, you talk about the tight ends. I love Will Dissly, man. That dude is a stud. And then you got Gerald Everett. It's just, what do you say about those guys? But, I think the chemistry between Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, DJ Hackett, and the or DJ Metcalf, forgive me, and the other receivers is pretty phenomenal. But especially, with Russell and the 2 wideouts, and those guys get it done. And Tyler Lockett is a guy who just, I think, continues to prove to people that he's underrated, and you can't take him for granted. So anyway, let me go back to my notes and give you some of the keys. Again, you're listening to Monday Night Sports here on Rainier Avenue Radio. I'm Dupe, and just giving you our take on yesterday's game. Again, like I said, Russell, I think, made some really good decisions. I really liked it. He stayed in the pocket when he needed to, made some passes, some good throws in there. Key plays, that first drive where they held the Colts to 3. I think that was really, really a key play. And the reason is because you want to start the game out, on a positive note. And even though they gave up some yards, when it came down to it, they stopped or they kept him out of the end zone. And I think that was really important. DK Metcalf, he's a man. Boy, I tell you what, man. But anyway, that was real huge. And for the defense, that is a huge motivational. That gets you up there. When you are able to make a goal line stand or stop like that and what have you. I think that really set a tone for the Seahawks and was really, really important. So if I was going to say players of the game, if you will, offensive line, did a great job, and you cannot, have the kind of day that Russell Wilson have the kind of day that Chris Carson have if the guys up front aren't doing the job. So that offensive line, Chris Carson, Jamal Adams, Bobby Wagner, you can say Jamal Adams and Bobby Wagner every week without even watching the game, and it's going to be accurate. That's how it is. Areas to improve. 7 penalties. You got it. You got to improve. In that area. The 1 turnover. Yeah, you lost a fumble. Gave up 336 yards, and in the big scheme of things, I mean, they see the sack, and they had some good pressure coming in, and that's real important. I mentioned earlier the Colts had the ball for 11 more minutes. So, can the defense again? They did bend. They didn't break. And there you see Russell, and Russell's always done that. He's always done a good job of protecting himself, getting down. And I'm trying to think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Russell Wilson has missed a game. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, so there you have it. Some of the highlights from yesterday. Before we turn our attention to a couple of other things, Daniel, let's go ahead and play the cut from Jamal Adams. And I just, listen to this guy. And I think, as last year, as he came here, in that trade and excited to be on a contending team. And this is a guy, man, that just, I was familiar with him. I mentioned this last year, but I didn't really know, obviously didn't see the Jets that much, so I hadn't seen him. He is worth everything that they gave up and then some. And, if he can again stay healthy, he is such a weapon. So anyway, let's go ahead and play that cut with Jamal Adams, and then we'll come back on the other side.
But, we came out with a lot of energy, obviously, getting those stops on 4th down really gave us a lot of juice, but, we definitely can be better. This is one game. At the end of the day, we're not going to get too high. We're not going to get too low. We understand it is a win, but the ultimate goal is at the end. We're going to celebrate at the end. So we're just going to, watch the film, get better, correct the mistakes, and get ready for Tennessee.
Are you trying to get the snap on the 4th down play?
I tried.
Did you read quarterback sneak, or are you just trying to disrupt the snap?
Yeah. Just through film study, obviously knowing what he likes to do. By playing him, over the past years, that's one of his go-tos as far as a quarterback sneak. Just try to get a little jump. I think I went a little bit too far, but I got a little bit. I got his back leg a little bit, so he fumbled a snap, and we got it. So that's all that matters.
How good can this pass rush be?
Elite. It's very elite. So many guys that can get after the pass, the quarterback, and do special things. Rotation of really three fronts, man. You know what I mean? It can be really, really special. And then obviously I'm coming at times, Bobby's coming at times, and Keith is coming at times, Ugo's coming at times, Quandre, everybody's coming. So that's what makes us very unique in a lot of ways, and it's very exciting.
You've been playing against this offense in practice for a month or so, seeing it come to life the way it did, and just kind of, especially that first half, the way it did. What were you kind of thinking as you watched that?
You talking about the coach?
Your offense. No,
I'm sorry.
Watching the Seattle offense.
Right.
Yeah, your offense.
Yeah. Man, phenomenal. Very balanced. And, they're just getting started. You know what I mean? And heard a couple guys in the shower just saying, like, man, just wait until really start to all click for everybody. So it's very special to watch those guys do what they do, and obviously just seeing Russ and T-Lock on that moon ball. I mean, it's just special. You know what I mean? It's very special. But those guys do that all the time in practice, and we witness it. I'm just glad I don't have to face that. So it's pretty cool.
Saw Quandre coming downhill making some big hits. I mean, for a safety his size to hit the way he does, just how unique is that?
Yeah, man. He's always had that chip on his shoulder. You know what I mean? Ever since I've known him. He's always been the little guy, as you want to call it, but he plays big on the field. He's phenomenal. He deserves all the respect that he gets, if not more. And in my eyes, he's the best free safety in the game. You know what I mean? So he's doing his thing, man. I'm happy to be back there with him.
How much faith do you have in your corners, Trey and DJ?
A lot of faith, 100%, all in, man.
You're making sure the Colts fans beat the traffic.
Yeah. I told him, make sure y'all beat the traffic on the way out. But I was a little pissed. We gave up a touchdown after that, so I couldn't really talk like I wanted to. But it was exciting, man, just to see them go home. Obviously, as a defense, we love to see that. You know what I mean? Just to see, coming into a hostile environment. This was loud. It was very, very loud, and we wanted to quiet them down as much as possible. And to send them home early, that's a plus.
So there you have it, Jamal Adams. And one of the things that stuck out to me from that interview, he talked about when the question was asked about this defense, he said it can be elite in their pass rushing ability, and they're just getting started. So I think overall, man, offensively, defensively, special teams, like Pete Carroll said, they were pleased. But time will tell, and obviously we will see. But this could be a pretty special team, and there's certain things that have to happen. Now, I've said this all along. There are really a couple, 2-3 things that have to happen for a team to have a great season, to make it into the playoffs and advance to a Super Bowl or to repeat. One is that they got to be good. They got to be good. That's number one. That goes without saying. Number two, they got to stay healthy. And number three, do we have Edwin there? Do I hear something? I thought I heard a little. Okay. You got to stay healthy. And number three, you got to be lucky. You got to have some luck. So we'll see what happens. Real quickly, next week, Seahawks are taking on, obviously, the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee lost 38-13 to Arizona. And, they were torched by Kyler Murray, man. He was 21-32, 289 yards, 4 TDs, threw an interception. But, how do you – ran for 1 touchdown. It is what it is. But don't discount Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill, had a decent game yesterday, threw a touchdown, threw an interception. They got Derrick Henry. And I'm going to tell you what, Derrick Henry is one of the elite running backs in the NFL. That's a big boy. And so, you got to Seahawks are going to have to prepare for that. And then you got Julio Jones, at receiver among some of the other receivers that they have. So you can't take the Titans too lightly. They are a team to be reckoned with. So, again, I apologize. We had some technical issues and couldn't get Edwin on, but make sure to tune in every Monday night, 6:30. And usually we'll have the big guy on and you'll have his perspective from 11 years. A couple of quick things I want to say before I turn it over to Granville and Pepe and Lidline is that they're coming up. But keep it tuned here this weekend. Big weekend of prep football coming up right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. And we have the Metro League Memorial Classic. And so double headers on Friday and Saturday. You can hear all 4 games right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. So I'll bring you the play-by-play of Lake Stevens, the second-ranked team in the 4A division. They are taking on number 1 ranked O'Day obviously in 3A. And so that's going to be a huge game. That's at 5:00 on Friday. And then immediately following that game at 7:45-ish. Mount Baker, they are ranked number 7 in single A, and they're taking on Seattle Prep, who's number 6 in triple A. And Prep in the pandemic shortened spring season, they were something special. And they've got Braden Smith coming back his senior year, and he is a phenomenal athlete. Then on Saturday, 2:00, we've got Davis taking on number 15th ranked Garfield Bulldogs. So Coach Reggie Witherspoon Jr., his team is 2-0. And you remember last year we talked to him, and he said, this team is young. I'm really excited for next year, and next year is here now. So that game is at 2:00. I'll bring you the play-by-play of that game. And then following is Nooksack Valley. They are rated number 18, again, another single A team, and they're going to take on number 19 Rainier Beach. And so Rainier Beach, we've had them the past couple of weeks, and tough loss this past week. But Rainier Beach is a good team, and they lost to a 4A school, and it was a close game. They had a shot, at winning it. So that is coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday, doubleheader both nights. So make sure to keep it tuned right here. Yeah, you saw the schedule, on the screen there. Hey, that's going to do it for me. Stay tuned, because Lidline is next right here on Rainier Avenue Radio. So until next week, I'm Dupe for the big guy, Edwin Bailey for Daniel B. Until next week, hey, enjoy it. Peace and God bless. Yeah.
No, you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio.world.